The Land-Lease Act is where the U.S. lent supplies to Britain. This was called the Land-Lease Act. By the end of 1940, Britain's treasury was empty, which was why the U.S. lent supplies to them. Soon after the arrangement, it was extended to China and the Soviet Union. As a result, in 1940, Congress passed a new law that set up the first peacetime draft in American history. Soon after, Roosevelt ordered Air Corps to organize an African-American unit under the command of black officers. The officer's name was the Tuskegee Airmen. A new flight training program was eventually set up at the Tuskegee Army Airfield in the state of Alabama. Eventually, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Churchill outlined their goals for the post-World War. America and Britain would gain no territory from the war and added a right for all people to choose their own government. Franklin D. Roosevelt and Churchill called for a new international organization that would soon succeed. Later on, Japanese launched a surprise attack on American naval air ground. The attack was in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. The huge attack destroyed almost half of the island's 400 military aircraft and damaged 8 battleships, 2 beyond repair. Tragically, about 2,400 Americans were killed. Later that day, America declared war on Japan, and Japanese allies declared war on America, resulting in a violent world war. The Allied powers made up of Britain, France, the Soviet Union, the USA, China, and 45 other countries. The Axis powers are made up of Germany, Italy, Japan, and 6 other nations. More than World War I, World War II was the worst because it was a total war, resulting in not only militaries fighting, but citizens of each nation. It was a global conflict. Then in December 1941, the Soviet Union troops halted the German advance just miles away from Moscow. The Germans mounted another offensive in mid-1942, and a huge major battle took place in and around the Russian city of Stalingrad. In December of 1942, British troops defeated German forces at El Alamein in Egypt. Then in North America, Erwin Rommel, Germany's most respected general, won a number of quick victories. Then in November, the first American troops in combat landed in North Africa.
Hours after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, they also bombed airfields in the Philippines. The defense at Bataan against the Japanese were heroic, but on April 9th, Douglas MacArthur withdrew with forces from the Bataan Peninsula and ordered by the president to go to Australia and take command of all U.S. troops that were stationed in the area.
Therefore, at Bataan, the Japanese captured nearly 70,000 soldiers. Already weak from hunger, the captured American and Filipino prisoners were forced to walk 65 miles to prison camps. Along the way, so many prisoners died of starvation, disease, or were treated with violence, but that their sea trek soon became known as the Bataan Death March. Eventually, in May 1942, at the Battle of the Coral Sea, American and Japanese navies waged a new form of warfare. Therefore, the United States halted the Japanese to drive to New Guinea. The Americans sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, destroyed 322 Japanese aircraft, and reduces Japanese supply of highly trained pilots, changing the war in the right direction of the Allies.